welcome to the Absolute Gamecast. Today I'm going to be discussing the new game Meatly Storage World. Meatly Storage World is an indie mascot horror game created by the creator of Bendy and the Ink Machine and Bendy and the Dark Revival, the Meatly. It was a game developed in a day as a way to test the Meatly's skill at developing horror games and the associated tone. The game is very simple, but has many things I enjoyed, which I'll get into shortly. One of my favorite aspects of it is the tone of the game. This game is seemingly not meant to be taken too seriously and is absolutely hilarious throughout. Don't worry, this is ketchup. But the best part of the tone is it's still actually scary. There were many tense moments throughout my first playthrough where I was quietly listening for the monster, hunched in a corner, not knowing where he was, and having to try hard to make sure he wasn't around before running down the hall. Another thing I thought was cool is there were many subversive elements in the game. A few times I said I thought something specific was going to happen, or I thought I had to do something specific, just waiting for there to be one where I open it and the monster is just in one of them. We've all played horror games, and we know that's gonna happen eventually, because it happened in tons of other horror games, and I thought that because of how self-aware the game was, it would have those moments just to be funny with them. But that almost never happened. I'd like to get into more detail now, but before I do, I've left the Game Jolt link down in the description below, so if you'd like to play the game for yourself, it's 100% free, and I highly recommend you check it out. The first thing I want to touch on is the story. The game doesn't feature a major story, but it's still important to mention. The story is very simple, but there are a few secrets in the game that I'll get into later in this video, for the people looking for them. In the game, you play as an unnamed protagonist who has entered a storage facility like ones you may have seen in person or on TV, as they're looking for something they left in their personal unit. Little do they know, there's something else inside the facility who's just so happening to be looking for them. This is Meatly.exe. It's not named in the game to my knowledge at the moment of writing this part of the script, but I've heard people on Twitter referring to it as Meatly.exe, so that's what I'll call it for the sake of simplicity. The next aspect I'd like to discuss is the gameplay. During the game, you're given two devices to help make progress. The remote that lets you open any orange doors in the facility, which you need to progress the game and solve the majority of puzzles. When you're near a door that can be opened, the red light on the remote turns green, and when that happens, you can left-click to open the door, and the flashlight, which brightens up the area and allows you to see better. Who'd have thought? Since the building is usually pitch black, however, the flashlight has a battery, which to my knowledge can't be refilled, so you have to conserve it. Meatly.exe will be roaming around the main area and chasing you the second he spots you. The only method I've found that made him go away is hiding in the storage units you have to open to solve the main puzzle and hope he loses you. You can also just avoid him outright if you see him in a hallway. Turn off your flashlight so he won't see you, then just run the other way. The first puzzle you have to solve is finding your storage unit, which is usually in plain sight, however it randomizes every time you boot up the game. You'll then find a locked chest which requires you to find 4 numbers that make up a code. Upon interacting with the chest, the numbers will spawn on the back walls of some of the units. The locations are random for each number, but the numbers themselves aren't as far as I can tell. You'll see them as soon as the door opens, then you left-click on each of them to complete the puzzle. Once you've done that, then you can head back to the chest to retrieve your item, which is revealed to be a donut, which is hilarious in my opinion. It's a donut. It's a donut, that's amazing. Before heading to the exit, once you get there you'll notice that someone locked the door, and you would normally assume you need to find the key, but you just have to run to the second exit not far away. Upon opening the door, the floor collapses under you and you're dropped into a black fuzzy void where you turn around to find Meatly.exe right behind you, and the game ends with a funny flash screen asking you to pre-order part 2. Pre-order part 2. Let's go! Which I don't think is actually real. This is just a funny parody, although I wouldn't say no to a part 2. The next thing I want to talk about is the secrets. The main secrets I've found are these eye notes pinned to the walls. Here's a quick compilation of what they say. There might be more secrets, but there were the only ones I found. However, if you find other stuff while playing, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. In conclusion, I really enjoyed the game. It was good for some laughs and scares. I definitely think you should check it out when you have time. As mentioned at the beginning, the game link is down in the description, so you can check out the game if you'd like to when you have time. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Not gonna force you, do what you want. Thanks for tuning in, and that's the video. Bye.